It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings, and greetings. Welcome to another segment of the X and Y Show. I'm your host, Roosevelt, and welcome to another Friday night. Happy St. Patrick's Day for all of you who celebrate this holiday, or just, have another day just to go out and drink. So I hope everyone's wearing their green, and I hope everyone drink all their green beer, and make sure that you do not drink and drive tonight. Do not do that, because I don't want you getting hurt. I don't want you getting killed. I don't want you getting a DUI, and that way you can't listen to the show next week. You'll miss it. So I don't want you to do not drink and drive tonight. Do an Uber, do a taxi, whatever you have to do. Enjoy the holiday. This is a drinking holiday. I want you to go out and drink, but make sure you don't drive afterwards, because I care about all of you, especially the women. Let me stop. Want to give a shout out and say hello to all the gynecologists out there. I think you're doing a wonderful job. I think you all are very nice people. I love you, and I really look up to you. It's a wonderful occupation. Gynecologists, always looked up to them from being, from every as long as I can remember. So, just want to give a shout out to all the gynecologists out there. Lucky people. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump into tonight's episode. This is a episode that I think, in today's time, you definitely have to consider. You don't want to be with the wrong person or think you're with the wrong person. So, you see certain traits or characteristics of that person before you get too deep in a relationship, then that might have a bearing on if you want to actually further the relationship with this person and escalate it to a long-term relationship or even a marriage. So, without further ado, let's get into tonight's episode. What bad trait disqualifies someone as a potential mate? What bad trait disqualifies someone as a potential mate? Now, this would change. Different things that would disqualify certain people that is on your list is totally different from things that are on my list. So this would change depending on the person who you're talking to. Certain things might bother some people. Some things might not bother some people. They'd be like, well, that's no big deal to me. I can do that. Some people be like, oh, hell no. Definitely not. So he or she does that, she's out. Some people are more lenient in certain things than others and other things. So it depends on who you're talking to. So I'm going to just give you some of my reasons, or some of my disqualifiers for a potential mate for me meeting someone, and starting to date someone, and I find out something that they do or something they do or a physical characteristic, and it automatically disqualifies them. Now, I don't have too many. I have some that could be on the list, but it's not. I don't want to be too critical because you can't. No one's perfect. No one is the perfect fantasy that you imagine yourself to be with when you were grown up. No one's going to fit that mold. It's always going to be something. Well, she's close. I wanted someone with this and one with that. She's, she has a lot, but she's not exactly what I dreamed of. It's always some variation that's different than what you imagine it to be. So, you can't put everything on the list. You can't be too critical. And you also want to look at yourself. You want to be too critical. You don't want someone to be too critical on your ass as well. So, it's a double-edged sword. But there is some things that I think that I really just can't look over. As far as, picking someone dating. Well, dating is different, but, I'm at the point in my life now, when I date, and I don't want someone to get this mixed up. Because this is a mistake that a lot of people do. A lot of people date with the future goals as getting married. They really like a guy or a girl, or a woman or man, whatever the fuck you want to say. And they date them for a couple of times, and they're already thinking about, I think he'd be a nice husband. I think she'd be a nice wife to settle down with. You only went on 3 or 4 or 5, even 10 dates. And a lot of you motherfuckers be already planning the wedding and shit, and thinking about how many kids you're going to have and all that shit. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that couples make when they start dating. They're already thinking about wedding bells, already thinking about walking down the aisle, already planning their wedding. You want a big wedding or a little wedding. You want to get married at the peace and justice of peace. And what? So, I don't want people to get mixed up with this. But, you do, you don't want to put too much weight when you start dating someone. Especially when you initially start dating. The relationship is new. You shouldn't even be thinking about that. But, with that being said, as the date escalates and the dating game escalates and you might take it to the next level of being engaged, then you want to start thinking more seriously. But also, with that being said, I'm talking about things that would disqualify some women for me before I even get to the dating part. So I just want to clear that up. Just because you're dating, you shouldn't be thinking about marriage. But I'm talking about tonight things that would disqualify a person before you even date. Before you even go get coffee or go to get a drink, anything. Before you spend any time on a non-platonic relationship. These are things that would disqualify a woman for me. Now, again, this list may differ depending on who you're talking to. The things that I'm going to name right now wouldn't even bother some guys. But for me, these are things that automatically disqualify. I could never date a woman with some of these traits. So let me just get into it. Now, for me, the first thing that would disqualify a woman as a potential mate for me is a woman with no respect for her family. A woman with no respect for her family. If she doesn't respect her siblings, her mother, her father, she's not going to respect her husband. Period. I mean, a woman that doesn't respect her family, talk to her about her brothers, brothers might be having problems, sisters might be having, whatever the case may be, but they talk about them like dogs. Oh, he's a piece of shit. I can't stand him. I always hated him. Oh, what? And I've dealt with women like that in my younger days because, I was just trying to get the pussy. I didn't care if they hated. I didn't care who they hated. I just wanted the pussy. So I didn't care who they respected back then. But now, being more mature and more wise and looking for a serious potential mate, I have to look at these things in a more logical way, a more mature way. So that's very important. A woman that respects her family, her siblings, her mother, her father, even her uncles and aunts, her family, even her cousins, her family. A woman that respects her family, then it's a good chance that she will respect her husband. A woman that does not respect her family, talk to her father in a kind of a way, talk to her mother in a kind of a way, you think she's going to respect her husband? Huh? I'm just speaking logically. I mean, she's not going to respect her family. She's not going to respect her husband. Talk to her husband in a kind of a way. And I'm not going to put up with that shit. Talking to me, and I'll be in jail from choking her. No, I'm just saying. But that is definitely a trait that would disqualify a woman. If I see a woman that disrespects her family, it's no chance for me and her. That's it. She's disqualified. I don't want to see her no more on that level. We can say hi and bye and be, cordial to one another, but nothing romantically. So that is a disqualifier for me. Disrespectful to her family. Another disqualifier for me, a woman that don't bathe the ass. I can't stand women who don't bathe their asses. I don't know, and this is becoming a new thing. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but a lot of women don't wash their ass. A lot of them. And or some of them wash their ass, but it's not enough. I think an adult, whether it's man or woman, should take at least 2 showers a day. The morning when you get your ass up out of the bed, and at night before you get in the bed, you wash your ass. Why is that so hard? I have come across a lot of women, and a lot of you are listening to me right now, know what I'm talking about. A lot of women that don't bathe at night, they bathe in the morning, but don't wash their ass at night. They just hop their dirty ass in the bed with the covers and new pajamas. They clean pajamas, so I have a clean pajama. Yeah, but your ass ain't clean. You got your pajamas cleaner than your ass. So, a lot of them just take showers at night. Or some just take showers in the morning and don't take it at night. Or some take it at night and don't take it in the morning. Vice versa. But they only take 1 shower a day. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's an automatic disqualifier as far as I'm concerned. I can't stand a woman that don't bathe the ass. Wash your ass. Hygiene is very important. And there's a lot of women out there that don't wash their ass enough, or, don't wash their hair. Only wash their hair over the week because they don't want to wash a perm out of their head. Or can't wash their hair because of the weave. And I'll get on that in a minute. Or just lazy. Don't wash their hair. And I'm going to tell you something else. I like a woman who smells good. I like a woman who smells good. I like a woman who wears perfume. Now, some women are allergic to perfume. That's fine. Then put some lotion on your ass. Smell good. Victoria's Secret has all kind of lotions. They have berry, they have vanilla, creamsicle, pomegranate, cucumber, all kind of shit in Victoria's Secret. So if you can't wear perfume, you're allergic to perfume, then put some lotion on your ass. Smell feminine. I like a woman like that. So a woman that does not wash her ass, don't bathe her ass, and don't smell good, don't wash her hair, just don't have good hygiene practices, that's an automatic disqualifier for me. I can't be with a nasty person. Because if she's not washing her hair, then she ain't washing her pussy. Huh? 1 + 1 is 2. 2 times 2 would always be 4. If she not washing her ass, she not washing her pussy. I don't want a woman like that. I don't want a woman that doesn't wash their ass, ain't washing their pussy, ain't washing their hair enough. Don't smell good. You know. So that is an automatic disqualifier for me as well. A woman that does not practice, a woman that does not have good hygiene practices. There's no excuse for that. Come on, man. We don't live in a third world country. Wash your ass. Get your ass in the shower at night before you climb your ass in the bed. You get your ass up in the morning, get your ass in the shower before you go to work. What's so hard about that? Wash your hair if you want to wash your hair every night. Okay, every other night. I'll work with you. You're allergic to perfume? Lotion your ass up. It's not that hard. What's so big about that? But you'll be surprised at how many women in today's society that do not wash their asses. It's almost like an epidemic. I don't know. I've been told by so many women that I only take one bath. You know, some give me that bullshit story. They don't want to waste water. It's a waste of water. And they don't want to bathe too much because they get a yeast infection. All kind of bull. I done heard all kind of bullshit. Women making excuses and not getting their ass in the tub or the shower. I done heard it all. And it's no excuse. So that's something that I cannot tolerate. A woman that is nasty, does not have adequate hygiene practices. That's number 2 for me. Number 3, a woman with hair weave or extensions or clip-ons, whatever you fuck you want to say, fake hair. You know, somebody had to tell you women that you look like a damn fool with that shit in your head. A lot of you, I don't know if you think it look good. I don't know if you think it looks sexy. I don't know if society has fucked up your head where you gotta have long hair. And you look like a fucking idiot. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. I'm just being real. Somebody need to tell you. Somebody need to tell you women. I think that's the problem. You women don't know how silly you look with that shit in your head. You know. Some of you got that weave and your hairline all fucked up, coming all back on the half of your head. Some of you got the clip-ons where you can tell where your real hair stop and the fake hair start, and looking all this looks stupid. And not to mention that shit stinks. When a woman has hair weave and extensions and clip-ons and all that shit, fake hair in her head, it stinks because they can't wash it. Now, clip-ons, you know, they can take out. You know, they can take out, and I guess they can wash their head if they're women that believe in hygiene practices. If they don't, then even if they take their clip-ons out, they're not going to wash their head because they ain't washing their ass before they get into bed. You see what I'm saying? It all works together. So when I see a woman with fake hair Whether it's weave, whether it's extensions, whether it's clip-ons, that's automatic disqualifier. I don't like that shit. I'd rather see you with your short hair natural. Wear it, be proud. Your short hair now, I'd rather see that than see you with that shit in your head looking silly. I mean, that just says something to me about a woman. It gives a bad vibe. I don't like that. I think you look like a damn fool. And believe me, women, a lot of men think you look like a damn fool. They just don't tell you, which is bad because you think you look good, but you really don't. You look like a damn idiot with that shit in your head. Be proud of yourself. If you got short hair, be proud. Wear your short hair. Wear your short natural hair. If that's what you have, be you. Be real. I don't know. It just says something about a woman with fake hair. I don't like that. So that's just me. A lot of men, like I said before, this is my list. A lot of men that wouldn't bother. Matter of fact, a lot of men like women with weave. I mean, it doesn't bother them at all. They just, as long as the hair is long, that's all they care about. They don't care if it's fake or real, just as long as it's long. So, again, it depends on who you're talking to. But if you're talking to me, that's a disqualifier. I don't like a woman with fake hair. I don't like a woman with all that fake-ass, horse-ass hair in their head. It's not attractive, it's not appealing, and it stinks. So anyway, I think I made my point clear. Now the last disqualifier for me, now this is probably on a lot of guys' lists. A woman who smokes. This is funny because back in the day, I didn't give a fuck about that. I even carried a lighter around in my pocket. There's cigarettes and anything to get a conversation, because I was just trying to get the pussy. That's all I cared about back then. I was getting the pussy. So I like the cigarette form and all kind of shit. I didn't give a damn cigar, pipe. I didn't give a damn what it was. But now that I'm older and more wiser, I don't want a woman who smokes. And that's very important to me. And that's mainly because, usually a woman that smokes, her breath smells like zebra ass. It does. It smells just like the middle of a zebra's ass. Any woman that smokes, I don't care how much gum they chew, I don't care how many mints they carry around, their breath smell like the middle tip of a zebra's ass. It stinks. It smells like shit. Matter of fact, everything on a woman's body or surroundings that smokes smells like shit. Her body, her car, her clothes, her hair, everything about her. Everything smells like shit. Smells like a damn cigarette. And that's, depending on how heavy a smoker she is, that's disgusting to me. I mean, could you imagine, really, being with someone day in and day out for the rest of your life who smells like shit? Every time she talks to you, her breath, you think of a damn zebra because her breath smells like zebra ass. Her hair smells like shit. Her car smells like shit. She might smoke in the house, so she got your house smelling like shit. I mean, it's just a mess. And that's what it smells like. Mess. It smells like shit. I mean, it's almost to the point, I don't want to say I hate them, but I really dislike women who smokes. Because your breath smell like shit. So if you're a woman that smokes and listening to this broadcast, Yes, if nobody has told you, trust me, your breath smells like a zebra's ass. There's nothing you can do about it. You can chew gum, you can do mints, you can do Altoid, whatever, what you want to do. Your breath's still going to smell like zebra ass. So, those are my 4 disqualifiers. A woman with no respect for her family, that disrespects her family, in particular her siblings or mother or father. That's a disqualifier. This is my list now. This is my list. A woman who don't wash their ass enough, and just don't have good hygiene practices. Don't wash your hair, just nasty. Women don't smell good, no lotion, don't smell like pomegranate, don't smell like fruit, strawberries. That's a disqualifier. A woman that don't have good hygiene practices. Not washing her ass quite enough. Number 3, a woman with hair extensions, weave, clip-ons, fake hair. That's a disqualifier for me. It just says something about a woman when I see a woman with fake hair. It goes beyond a fashion trend. I just see a fake woman. A weak woman who's being manipulated by society that she needs long hair to be pretty. That's a weak-minded woman. I don't want that. And besides, that shit stinks because they can't wash it. And lastly, a woman that smokes. Because obviously her breath smell like what? A zebra's ass. Her body smells like shit. Her house smells like apartment smells like shit. Her clothes, her car, everything about her smells terrible. I don't want that. So those are my disqualifiers. But like I said, your list might be totally different from mine. A lot of things that I mentioned won't even bother a lot of guys. Hair. Some guys don't care about a woman who smokes. Some guys even... I know some guys even tell their girlfriends or wives not to bathe because they like the naturalness when they fuck. So they like when a woman smells nasty or musty or whatever. Natural. I call natural. That's musty. Shit. Natural. That's musty. So a lot of them, I have some friends that like that shit. They tell their girlfriends not to bathe for 2 or 3 days. Because they want to feel natural, feel like Tarzan and shit. So, like I said, this is my list. But a lot of guys, those things that I mentioned, it wouldn't bother. So, like I said again, it depends on who you're talking to. Now, some of my Twitter followers chimed in on this question, and I'm going to mention some of their answers, and also I'm going to give some more general answers that might be on other people's lists as well. I can't name everything because I'll be here all night, but I'm going to just name some general things, and you see if you can agree with them or not. You might not agree with my things on my list. Some of you think I'm being irrational. Some think I'm being mean. I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being honest. A lot of women always say they want a man who's just honest. I just want a man who'll be honest with me and straightforward and just tell it like it is. Yet when you do that, they can't handle it. A lot of women can't handle the truth. They can't. No matter how much they say they want to hear the truth, they can't handle the truth. That's why men lie to them, because they can't handle it. So a lot of women out there thinking, who the hell he think he is? I'm just being real. This is my list. Things that are on my list that are included that would disqualify a woman that I don't want to date if they have these traits. I'm sure I'm on some women's list. You know, some women don't like guys who wear glasses. I don't know. But I'm sure I'm on someone's list because nobody's perfect. Everyone has a preference. That's their right. It's my right. I don't think I'm being irrational or mean just because I have these preferences. It's my disqualifiers. That's my right. Just like it's your right to have whatever's on your list. I don't think you're being mean or rational. That's just your list. That's your right. Anyway, one of my Twitter followers mentioned to me that a disqualifier for him would be being rude to a waiter or waitress. Now, that was a good one. That caught me. Yeah, that made me go back in memory lane. And before I tell you about the story, I want you to think about my list. And it wasn't all physical aspects. You know, a lot of things wasn't physical. You know, like I said, you know, a woman must have respect for her family. You know, some guys, all of their disqualifiers are physical. Some women, all of their disqualifiers are physical attributes of that person. I don't like a fat man. I don't like a short man. I don't like a tall man, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I don't like a short woman. I don't like a fat woman. I don't like a, you know, whatever. Some lists are purely physical. But I just want to note that all of mine was not physical. So give me a little credit. But I want to tell you about a story, you know, because my Twitter followers said a disqualifier for him would be someone who's rude to a waiter or waitress. That's a good one. I never thought about that. And I had an incident with that years ago. I was with this girl on a date, and, you know, we had just sat down in a restaurant. I forget which one it was. This was in Atlanta. And she was very rude to the waitress. You know, the waitress just came, a nice woman, you know, and doing her job. And she was like, would you like to order? And she was very snappy to her. No, we just sit down. Don't you see we just sit down? You know, I'm like, we haven't even looked over the menu yet. What's wrong? I'm like, just being rude to this woman. You know? And the waitress said, okay, well, when you're ready to order, just let me know. Yeah, we will let you know, okay? Thank you. And when the waitress walked away, she gave her a look like, yeah, I got something for your ass. And then she looked at me like, yeah, you with her, so I'm going to get your ass too. You know, so I say, no. I ain't going for no okie doke tonight. So when she walked away, that waitress walked away, I told my date, I said, hey, let's go. We gotta go. She said, what? What's wrong? What happened? I said, no, we gotta go. Come on. But I don't understand. What's going on? You know, yeah, we gotta go. Let's go. So we got out the door, and she's like, why? Why are we leaving? I said, then I told her when we got out the restaurant, I didn't want to, you know, take a chance on her trying to show out in the restaurant and shit. So I told her, you know, I don't appreciate how you was disrespectful and rude to that waitress. And before she served us our damn food, you know, that didn't make no damn sense. Why were you so snappy at her? Why were you talking to her like that? She looked at you, and then she looked at me. I said, you know, we would have been fools ordering food from her. You know, yeah, maybe she would have got just her, but I wasn't about to take that chance. And she's like, oh my God, I don't believe we're leaving because of that. Well, let's just go back in. I said, no, we ain't going back in there. Well, let's just go to another restaurant. I said, nah. We ain't going to no other restaurant. And she said, well, where are we going? I said, shit. See, we ain't going nowhere. I'm about to take your ass home. We is done for the night. I'm about to take your ass home. Shit. Ain't gonna have nobody teabagging my damn shit before they bring it at the table. So, that was ridiculous. I mean, there was no reason for her to treat that woman like that. Especially before she bring us our food. Now, so I took her ass home and we never went out again. Because of that. But I had forgotten about that, really. That could be added on the list. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just stupidity. Why would you disrespect someone who is serving you a meal, before, bringing you a meal, going back in the kitchen, And I know a lot of you saying, well, there's all kind of cameras right there. Yeah, fuck that. I ain't taking that chance. There's always ways to beat a camera. Well, you think they're not? Well, anyway. So that could be a disqualifier. Someone who acts stupid when you out in public, being disrespectful to a waitress or a waiter, that's just stupid. Now that would be on people's list. That could be on my list. I mean, I could throw it on there. It's not. I don't know. It's not necessary. That's not. Yeah, it could be, but I think most women have common sense enough to at least know to be respectful to someone who's about to serve them their food. Unless you deal with a fucking idiot. Most women have that much common sense. And most men. It can go both ways. But, that's one of my Twitter followers mentioned that. I thought that brought back some memories down memory lane and shit. Another reason, what about a person with no goals? No goals or ambition. No long-term plans. That could be a problem as well. You might have dreams and aspirations and you find out, by dating someone that they don't share that. That might be a disqualifier as well. Someone with no long-term goals, no plans. What do you want to do in 10 years? I don't know. That would bother the shit out of me too, actually. Especially if you're beyond your 30s. You don't know what the fuck you want to do now. Something wrong. But, like I said, it depends on the person you're talking to. If you're in your 20s and somebody say, what do you want to do in 5 years? And they say, I don't know. Probably won't give a damn because you're just trying to get fucked anyway. So, it's not that important at that age. But if she's in her 30s or 40s and you ask her, what do you want to do in 5 years? If she's still, I don't know, you might want to leave her or him alone. So that could be a disqualifier as well. Someone with no long-term plans, no ambitions, no aspirations. Another Twitter follower answered my question and said it would disqualify for him someone who picked their nose for boogers. Yeah, I think that's a good one too. Someone who is that nasty to pick their nose in front of people for boogers, definitely not someone I would like to take around the family. So yeah, that could be one as well. But that, that's not on my list. Again, I would think that someone would have the common sense enough not to do that. But, who knows? So that was on his list. He one of my Twitter followers as well. Someone who picks their nose for boogers. So I'm going to give some general answers that some men and some women might do. That might be disqualifiers on some women or men's lists. They could differ with, like I said, it depends on the person you're talking to. Let me just say for men, the first one. Women with small titties. A lot of men, when they see a woman with small titties, it automatically disqualifies them. They don't want to be with them. They don't want them as a potential mate because they have small titties. Now, me, myself, personal, I like titties. I do like titties. You don't have to have an F or double D and all that shit. Just a nice handful, I like titties. I don't particularly like a flat-chested woman. I'm just being honest. But it wouldn't disqualify her. A woman with no titties, it wouldn't disqualify her from going out with me or being a potential mate. So that's just, like I said, that's just me. But some men are that particular. They definitely don't want a small-chested woman. They want a woman with big titties. So that could be one. Now, on the woman's side, men with small dicks. When they find out, when they have a special night and they find out that this guy has a small dick, that's disqualifies them. They don't want to see him again. I don't think this is going to work out. Or not even a small dick, a regular sized dick. Some women want those, 12 and 13 inches and shit. It happens. Some women want, real big dicks. They don't want a regular sized dick. That's understandable. That's their right. Me personally, I never had that problem. Now, I don't have a 12 or 13 inch dick. No. I never claimed to have the biggest dick in the world. Never will. But I will tickle your tonsils. I will make you laugh back there. So don't you be fooled by the smooth taste. I will take your tonsils, but I'm just that it goes on both ways. Physical attributes. Some women don't like men with small or regular sized dicks. Some men don't like women with small titties. That could be disqualifiers on some men or women's list, depending on who the person is. Another one, some men don't like women who talk too damn much. Now, that could be on a lot of men's lists. I wouldn't even think about putting that on my list because a lot of women talk too damn much. Most women talk too damn much. So you can't put that on you. You be disqualifying everybody. Shit. You be disqualifying all women. You'll never get married. They talk too damn much. But some men actually, they don't want a woman that talk too much. They want a quiet man. Some women don't like quiet men. They don't like men who's too quiet. They perceive that as being weak, which is bullshit. But some women don't like men who are too quiet. Or they being sneaky or some shit. So that there's two more disqualifiers that might be on the men or women's side. Some women disqualify men based on occupation. Some women who desire someone who's a white collar, like an accountant, lawyer, etc. They desire that person. So a person who's a blue collar, like a plumber or a mechanic or something like that, they're not interested based on occupation. And some women are vice versa. They want a blue collar and they don't want a white collar. They think they're pretty boys. Some women want hustlers. Someone who could take care of them, and pay all their bills. They don't care what they do, just pay my bills. There's a lot of them in Miami. But a lot of them in each metropolitan city. A lot of them, they're everywhere. Depending on who you are talking to. Some men disqualify women for political party. You know, they find out a woman was a Trump supporter. Oh, no, I'm not dating her. No. Fuck that. Or a Hillary supporter. Whoever. They don't want a liberal. They don't want a conservative. They don't want a progressive. Whatever the case may be. Political party may be a disqualifier. So, I mean, I can be here all night naming disqualifiers for men, women. But it boils down to the person. What is the person willing to tolerate? What is the person willing to take a chance on being with someone for the rest of their lives, and a trait that they possess that either they can live with or not? It depends on the person. So you have to determine for yourself, what can you live with? What can you not tolerate when you're talking about a potential mate that's going to be your wife or husband one day? You have to determine that. You have to decide what's best for you. Some have these other certain traits on their list, other disqualifiers, that things that bother them you might think is crazy. You have things on your list people might think is crazy. Some items on my list, things people might say crazy. You say, Roosevelt, you really would disqualify someone based off their wearing fake hair, or, because they don't bathe enough? Really? Yes, really. So, you can't say someone else's list is ridiculous, because they might think your list is ridiculous. It's good for me. That's my list. And that list is good for you. So again, you have to determine, what are you willing to tolerate in a person? What are you willing to live with in a person? Potential mate, a potential wife, a potential husband. What are you willing to be around for the long term? What are things that will not disqualify you? That's what you have to determine. But things that do, then, I don't think it's being irrational. I don't think it's being mean. That's your choice. Those are things that really bother you. You shouldn't try to change anyone, because that's them. That's real. That's the way they are. So if they're a particular way and then that bothers you, then move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Move on. Don't settle for bullshit. Because you settle for bullshit now, you will regret it in the future. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. What bad trait disqualifies someone as a potential mate? It is Friday. It is St. Patrick's Day. And I hope everyone is listening to the XY show before they go out and drink all their green beer. Remember that you can always catch the XY show on many platforms. I'm on Spreaker. That's my main platform, which I broadcast from. I'm also available on Stitcher. I'm on Google Play. I'm on iTunes. And I'm on TuneIn as well. So be sure to listen to any listening venue that's desirable to you. Make sure you subscribe. And please comment or like me as well. I would really appreciate it. I'm also on social networks. I'm on Tumblr. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. And I'm on Facebook. So be sure to follow me as well for different episodes that is coming down the pipe. And also leave any comments on my website. And you can find everything on my website, from my platforms to my social media. Everything is on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com. Again, www.thexyshow.com. Everything is on my website. Also, I have a store which you can buy a t-shirt or a coffee mug or iPhone cover, Android cover. All of that is on my show as well. Be sure to take a picture of it and I would definitely post it on my IG account and show everyone that you are a true X and Wyer. And like I said before, you can also leave comments. Did you like the show? Did you dislike the show? Disagree with me? Agree with me? Whatever the case may be. Any topics that you'd like to hear about, whatever. Talk to me. I won't bite you. I love you. Especially the women. That concludes another episode of the X and Y Show, and I will see you next week. Remember, do not drink and drive tonight. Call Uber, call a taxi. I want you here next week to listen to my show. You cannot miss it. And that concludes another week of the X and Y Show, and I want you always to remember, you cannot have love without X and Y. Good night, and I will see you next week. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.